This is the Game 14 press conference featuring the Alabama Crimson Tide, joined by student athletes Bailey Hemphill and Montana Fouts. Questions for our student athletes. We'll begin with Nick Kelly.
Montana, just obviously with the first two games you played so well. I mean, what changed for you today in this one?
I don't know. I guess I try to go in with it with the same mindset, just to go pitch by pitch. I guess it just didn't go my way.
Robert Cortez.
Bailey, now that your career is over, can you talk about what it's meant to wear the Alabama uniform and what are the greatest things this program has given you and taught you?
First, I want to say congratulations to Mike Kendrea and Lou Harris-Champer on incredible coaching careers. And I guess all I can say is I'm heartbroken. Wearing this A has meant everything to me. This university has given me more than I ever could ask for. And I can't help but get emotional. I mean, I don't care about the wins and losses. I mean, I came out of here as a better person, so I am just forever grateful.
Brett Greenberg.
Hey, Montana, talk about just how important this senior class has been to this season.
I mean, they were everything to us. They still are. I mean, we're family forever, and that's why we come here. I mean, they're our best friends. We're family. So, I mean, it hurts. It hurts. But they led us, and we've learned from this year and this season, and we've learned from them in general as people. So we're really lucky to have them as part of our family.
Katie Wyndham.
Bailey, what kind of fight did you see out of your team after the 8-0 deficit to try and get back in it? Even you with your home run, just what were you doing to try and get your team back in it?
I just feel like we're never out of the game, you know? I'm so proud of this team. We could have just folded right then and there. I mean, we could have gave up more runs. It could have been a lot worse than 8-0. And, I mean, we're resilient and we're gritty, and I think we showed that. I mean, it was a challenge coming back. I wish we could have came back and won it, but I think we showed the type of fight this team and this program has had in the past. I mean, it just sucks that we couldn't get it done.
Edwin Stanton.
Bailey, looked like y'all are a little bit anxious at the plate tonight. 7 first pitch swings, 6 second pitch swings, putting the ball in play. Were y'all just not patient tonight?
I just think after last night, I feel like we were too patient. So we wanted the game plan was to be more aggressive. And I mean, I wasn't in the batter's box with everybody else, but I think they swung at good pitches. We just missed it. We couldn't come through. We couldn't get it done. But I mean, again, I'm just so proud of the fight that we showed.
Nick Kelly.
Question for both of you. I mean, when you look back on this year, what do you think is going to stand out to you most?
Start with Montana, please.
Well, first, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here at the World Series, just because it's a dream come true. So I just think that just the adversity that we faced, I think that we're going to learn from that because we made it so far with that, and I think that we could have went further. But just learn to be resilient, and I think that being resilient and gritty is a lot more than just maybe having all the talent in the world. I think that those characteristics are more important.
Bailey.
I think the biggest takeaway this year is just the adversity that we face. I think, again, it's not going to help us. It will help us in softball, but it's going to help us in life. I mean, all that we faced, that everybody faced the pandemic. I mean, but playing a collegiate sport during that was tough. We had to sacrifice a lot. And, again, people that had injuries this year, that's adversity, and they're going to bounce back. And I just think it's just life lessons, and it's just going to make us better people.
Ron Snyder.
Bailey, Ron Snyder in Lafayette. What's just your message to just the rest of the Lafayette community and other STM graduates about just being successful softball players and, going to a different state like Alabama like you did? What's just your message to anybody coming up in softball at STM and just to KDN in general?
I guess my message is you can do it. I mean, Lafayette, it's not a small town, but, I mean, there's some good softball players there. I mean, you can play anywhere. And I'm so thankful for all the support I've had over my career from Lafayette. I know all those UL and LSU fans, it was tough to say Roll Tide for me, but they did it, and I'm so grateful, and I love you guys.
All right, last one for our student athletes, Ron Smith.
This is Ronald E. Smith, and this is a question for both the athletes. If there's one person, too, that always believed in you guys, and he always kept preaching about how your fight and your grit and never, ever stopped, even with today when you guys were down. Your coach, Pat, loved you guys and just gave you nothing but praise. So I just want to know, what great things can you say about him?
Start with Montana, please.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better coach.
That's a tough one, I understand. Bailey, you want to take a crack and we'll come back to Montana?
I'm going to get emotional, too. I mean, he's never doubted us one time, you know? It's hard to talk about it because he means so much to me in this program. I mean, if you look in the stands, how many alums came back? Like, we have so much respect and love for him, and he made it truly a family. So, I mean, for him to believe in you, it makes you feel like you can do anything in the world. And so I'm so grateful he took a chance on me and let me play at this university.
Ladies, thank you so very much. Congratulations on an incredible season. We appreciate your time all week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now joined by head coach Patrick Murphy. Questions for Coach Murphy. We'll start with Brett Greenberg.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on obviously a wonderful season, not the way you wanted it to end, but Bailey Hemphill was asked what you meant to her, and she couldn't really put it into words. What has she really meant to you after she's just played her last game in an Alabama uniform?
Well, she's taught everybody on the team to be more joyful and, you know, relish in all the little things, because that's what she's done for 5 years for us. You know, she's very, very tender-hearted, and she's funny, and she keeps things loose. But obviously she's, you know, one of the best hitters we've ever had in our program, best players in our program, one of the best leaders. You know, she graduated with 2 degrees with 4.0. I mean, there's nothing that she could improve on in her career here. She's got fans from people who are 80 to 8 years old. She speaks well in front of people. I mean, she's the ideal person to represent the University of Alabama.
Robert Cortez.
Coach, you've mentioned in the past this is one of the most grittiest teams you've coached. Now that the season's come to a conclusion, can you talk about how much of a privilege it was to coach this team?
Well, you know, and I echo what I think Bailey said. You know, it was a quick 8-0, and shoot, we could have got run ruled, and they fought back. And I thought, you know, I think Savannah hit one right on the nose, and if that goes, you know, either way, over the kid's head or in front, side to side, whatever, that was going to be another run. But that was a good play by the right fielder, and you know, they showed a lot of grit and some fight. You know, Kilfoyle came in, put up all the zeros that we needed, and, you know, we were just like one hit away. So, really proud of everybody.
Edwin Stanton.
Hey, Murph, I was talking to Elizabeth Mason. She said the game plan for coming in was to kind of lay off Montana's rise ball and make her work. You can just talk about what Florida State did tonight and how they just got to Montana.
Well, you know, I should have started with this, but congrats to them on a hell of a tournament. You know, they won 4 in a row again. And obviously they're very talented, and they fight like heck too. And, you know, hats off to Miss Kaylee Mudge as the leadoff. You don't see 5 for 5. I haven't ever in Alabama. For a kid to go 5 for 5 against 2 really good pitchers, that's an awesome feat by her. But I think sometimes, you know, unfortunately, we might have had a bad day. and they took advantage of it. The first inning, the 3-hole hitter got the home run and put him on the board quickly. So, they knocked her out. So they had a good plan.
Nick Kelly?
Yeah, and in terms of when you're kind of going through the first couple innings and things happening fast, I mean, what went into the decision making in terms of Montana and putting Lexi in?
Well, it was kind of getting out of hand, and we needed to stop the bleeding. That was basically it. Give them a different look. See if Lexi could slow him down to give us a chance to get back in the game, and she did that. But just tremendous experience for both of them. One's a freshman, one's a sophomore. And, I called them the Twin Towers one day in practice, and they're going to be awesome for the next, 2 and 3 years. So it was great to see them, have tremendous outings here. We hope to be back, finish out their careers here.
Katie Wyndham?
Hey, Coach, you already touched on Bailey Hemphill, but we've talked about him a lot this year, but these 7 super seniors that got this extra year to come back, can you talk about them getting to close out their careers here at the World Series? Some were injured like Claire, some haven't gotten to play as much, and some like Bailey got to go out with a home run in her last game. So just hit on what they've meant to this program.
Well, they're just great, great young ladies, and, you've heard me say this, but for those who haven't, 6 of them got their master's degree, and that's unheard of for a softball player. 6 master's degrees, and the 7th got a double major, and she's going to get her master's next year at Southern Miss. So education-wise, they're covered, and it's a really cool thing to see that many young ladies do so well academically. Not a problem off the field. I mean, just great young ladies, classroom, practice, weight room, you name it. Never had issues with anybody. And this is another reason why people should support softball. There's great people, great young ladies in this sport that people can attach themselves to. Montana and Bailey are 2 of the best in the world. Just awesome people and tremendous athletes.
Nick Kelly?
When you look back at the season, I mean, 20-game win streak, just timely, I mean, just so many different things. What's going to stand out to you most, do you think?
I think how we got there with all the adversity, we went through it a lot. It started way last March. So we're about, 16 months into it, 15. Lots of stuff in the fall, injury-wise, and then, of course, in the spring, 2 ACLs, a kneecap, a back, a stress fracture, you name it, we had it. And then dealing with COVID, which everybody else had to do. So, they did sacrifice a lot because we asked a lot of them. I remember I sent out the parent letter at the beginning of the semester, and it was double the normal parent letter and the do's and don'ts. And this is why we're doing this. And God bless the parents, too. All the families of our young ladies are terrific because they had to sacrifice a lot, because it was a totally different scenario when we went on the road or we were at home playing. So there was a ton of people that bought into our program, and that's one of the main reasons we're here today.
All right, Coach Murphy, thank you very much for your time throughout the week. And
hey, can I say one thing too? I wanted to congratulate Mike Candrea and Lou Harris.
Oh, please do, yes.
Because Mike and Lou are 2 of the stars in our profession and 2 of the greatest coaches that I've ever played against, and I'm really going to miss competing against them. And one quick story on Mike, it was my first year, and we went to UCLA. We were probably the last team picked out of 48. We got our asses kicked twice, and I saw him that summer out recruiting, and he probably spent an hour with me at a tournament talking to me about, when it gets down to the big time and you need a couple little rabbits in your lineup to put the ball in play and make people throw it away. And I tried to listen to him and learn from him, and I appreciated all the time and effort that he gave me, and Lou as well. She was one of the feistiest competitors I've ever played against, and I know we're going to really miss her in the SEC.
Coach Class, as always, thank you very much for all your time.
Thanks a lot, and thanks to everybody here.